Recording, it
It
started.
says recording.
I've got the red dot in the corner.
Great. And Christine, thank you for filling out the questionnaire and returning it to me. And I'm following up on that information. Could you please tell me a little bit about your business?
Well, I call myself the marketing mentress.
I saw that on your email.
Yeah, and I did that because I discovered there are 3 other Christine Tills in the world.
Well, that's not too bad.
So I thought, I want to be different than all the other Christine Tills. And so I've actually reached out to them to find out about them. One of them's a published author, and she's a teacher at a university in Ontario. Another one is in England, and she actually made a trip out here. We were trying to get connected, but where she was going, she didn't realize how big Canada was. So we weren't able to connect. And then the other one was down in Chicago area.
Okay.
So I went, whoa, this is really interesting. And the one in Chicago, actually, it was she's born into Jamaican people.
Okay.
And so I've got 2 white copies and 1 very brown copy.
So you could, with just a little effort on your part, wake up the people in the Caribbean. Typically, February might be a good time of year.
Yeah. Yeah. Caribbean's a great place. I've been there. It's wonderful.
Okay. And
So anyway, so we were trying to find a name for me, my son and I, and because he said, well, you need to, was when I was laid off from my job quite a few years ago now, I thought, well, I'm not a frump. I don't have dementia. I can go get a job. And I put out a myriad of resumes. I got 4 job interviews and 1 offer for $10 an hour, and that wasn't enough to pay rent. So I'm going for the mortgage. And I went, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So I was talking to my son, who's a lead programmer at Amazon down in Washington State, Seattle. And so he heads up a team of programmers. And I thought he was the lead programmer for all of Amazon, but he's Mom, I'm one lead programmer of many teams. There's hundreds of teams of programmers. I went, oh, he said, I just head up one of those teams. Okay. But anyway, he said, Mom, you're really good at sales and marketing. Why don't you start a marketing business? And I went, okay. And so he taught me how to get started and set up with LinkedIn. And I got started.
okay.
And I found out I was making $1,000 per client per month on LinkedIn. And I thought, well, there's all these people I could help. So I started reaching out to others. And my business sort of organically grew. But it's to the point now where I need it to grow more.
Non-organically.
Yes. Non-organically organic.
Yes.
You can get my drift. Now there's some components that I've been missing for a few years, so I'm starting to get those in place.
It probably doesn't help that LinkedIn and all the online services change their models at infrequent basis without telling anybody.
Weekly. There's something new.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
You can only imagine what goes on inside of these groups.
Yeah.
Management says, we need to do something better.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody scatters into their corners to try and figure out what that means.
Well, Michael used to work as a lead programmer at Microsoft. He was there for 9 years. And then a friend of his that he worked with at Microsoft got working with Amazon, and he got hold of Michael. He says, Michael, we need you over here. Come on over and meet so-and-so, because we need to have you head up our groups over here. And he goes, okay. So he just thought it was a lark. He went over, then he got hired. So he's been with Amazon for almost 15 years.
Okay, so he has not regretted that decision.
No, he makes
Well, that's great.
he makes what I would like to be making every year. He makes doing programming probably around 200,000 or more a year.
Okay. And
US.
so is that, yes, American dollars,
Yeah.
which are much bigger than Canadian dollars.
Yeah.
Well, it all works out, I think.
I think so. I feel like I've been very blessed in my life. Very blessed. My husband and I were living in, this is both of our second marriage. So we have a Brady bunch of 8. He had 4 kids and I had 4 kids. We got together, 4 kids each. And, but the oldest 2 of each of our families so the oldest 4 were off in university or working on their own, weren't living close to where we were. And so we only had the youngest 4 that we had to blend together. And that wasn't all the time because his 2 kids would be with his ex-wife some of the time and back and forth. So anyway, but I just feel like we've been so blessed. And then he got headhunted out of the oil patch to be a GM of a company because he's a national construction safety officer. And so they hired him and we moved out here. And the day we moved out here, they informed him that they didn't need him anymore. And that was the beginning of all the cutbacks in the oil patch.
Right. Yep.
So it was a real struggle when we first moved out here. And we just feel like everything that has happened in our lives has just sort of fallen into place. So there's definitely been a divine hand involved in where we are and how we've been looked after. So I'm always feeling very thankful and very happy for where I am. I never begrudge anything. I never complain about, whoa, if we didn't do this, we wouldn't have had this.
None of us can see the future clearly.
No, that's right. And I think the older I get, the more I appreciate things because I realize how grateful I need to be. And one thing my mom always taught us is never lick a gift horse in the mouth. Never. So if your husband goes to get groceries and he comes home with chocolate bars, you don't complain.
Right. You figure out how to make chocolate soup.
Yeah.
Well, so I almost never do that.
Okay.
I try to stick with the list that I'm sent with.
Yeah. Well, I sent my husband out to get a couple, just one thing this morning because I was busy, and he came back with 3 things.
Okay.
And they were all the wrong things. But I got to take my hat off for him because he really tried. But they were out of the thing that I wanted. So he was trying to think of the closest thing to substitute.
To improvise.
Yeah. So I never complained. I thought, oh, you did a good job.
Well, I've learned that there are more types of parsley than I ever imagined.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at where the mist comes down and they get the parsley wet.
Yeah.
Grocery store. And I'm looking at all of these parsleys. And it doesn't help that they have different names.
Yeah.
So I've decided, I ask, am I looking for curly parsley or flat parsley? And that's easy enough for me to figure out.
It's fun. Yeah.
Now, Christine, you said you've been on LinkedIn fairly successful, developing marketing plans for people that you find on LinkedIn. Is that how that works?
Well, I teach people how to use LinkedIn to attract the perfect prospects and to attract people to them.
Okay. And so that sounds like it's a fairly fulfilling activity because you're helping people get what they
I'm
want.
sorry. Yes.
And how much time and effort do you put into those people?
That's a really good question. Probably, well, today I goofed off a little bit, but usually I put in a good full 8 to 10 hour day at least. Sometimes I go
Okay.
as long as 16 hours, but that's
Sure.
an exception to the rule. I've been trying to stop work and have time to get on the treadmill and do yoga before I go to bed at night. And I try to get in bed by 10 at the latest, but last night it was 10:30. So I'm getting better. It's better than midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, you can always, time will just vanish on you. And
Yeah.
then you look up and you say, damn, it's.
Yeah. I have a checklist. And I go through this checklist every day
Okay, good.
so that way I can stay on track. If I don't have this checklist, I end up down a rabbit hole somewhere on Facebook.
Sure. Oh, there's a big sinkhole already.
Yeah, no kidding.
And now, I know you told me, but it's already gone out of my head. Roughly, how much money are you making today at this marketing development program?
Well, I'm making about between 3,000 and 4,000 a month. Just
Okay.
doing this, just doing my
Yes.
LinkedIn stuff.
Yes.
But our total income fluctuates between about, let's see, about 6,000 and 8,000 a month because we have multiple streams of income. So I'm
Okay.
actually managing 14 streams of income.
All right. And so are you looking to grow one of them, all of them, or develop a new one?
No, no more, thank you. I'm going to just stay with what I've got right now. One of our streams is managing apartments. My husband actually does that more than I do. I do most of the backup, the office work and things for that. But I do help with the cleaning of apartments because I'm really pernickety about kitchens, stoves, and fridges. And so I'm the one that ends up doing the cleaning for those. And people don't, they're just not clean. I just can't understand it. How they can leave their apartment in such a mess. But then we get paid extra by the hour to do that extra bit of cleaning. But the thing is, it takes a lot of time and it's very physical. And we're in our 70s now, and we're noticing that we're not quite as fast as we used to be. And I've got arthritis in my hands. And so it's scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing on things. It gets really hard. So, and standing for long periods of time because I have arthritis in my knees. And so you go, oh, we want to get rid of this. So that our goal is to get rid of that one totally. We don't want to have to be tied down to that. And we don't want to live in an apartment building anymore because part of having to be in be managing these apartments is we have to live here.
Right.
What they call resident managers. And it pays the rent and a little bit extra, pays the rent, buys groceries. And then we have all of our other 14 streams. So everything that I do in my life has to pay me twice, So we have an Amway business and we buy everything we possibly can from ourselves at wholesale, keep the retail profit in our pocket.
Yep.
And get paid a commission for buying from ourselves. And we have a few customers. So it's not that we're working to build the business. We're just trying to be strategic thinking, right? And then we have my email platform pays me twice because it has an affiliate program attached. My video platform pays me twice because it has an affiliate program attached. My business card pays me 4 times. My website pays me 4 times. And they're all tied together with text messaging. So they're all things that I use on a regular basis for my business. And so it's not a big deal to just have a link attached to the bottom of an email that I send out, or on the bottom of a video that I do to make affiliate earnings, right? And my coach, my business coach, she has an affiliate program, and she just sent me a deposit on the 1st of April for $318.25.
Sure.
You know, so you get a few $100 here, a few $100 there, and it's not much effort because you're doing what you have to do anyway. It's just a part of your regular routines. And you know, when I tell people I manage 14 streams of income, it sounds like a lot, but you know, one of them is a TFSA. I don't do anything with that. It just sits and makes money for us. And then we have investments in the crypto market, and I have somebody looking after that. So we don't have to do a whole bunch of work for that. So it's just sort of like investments.
Okay. So are you trying to focus on one of those streams, or spend a little bit of effort in growing all of them?
Well, there is a little bit of effort in all of them, but the main one I want to work on is my LinkedIn, because that's where my heart really is coaching people.
Okay. And you're getting those people through LinkedIn primarily, is that right?
Yes, and I'm invited to speak a lot. Like this week, I had 2 speaking gigs on Zoom at network marketing groups. So there'll be 15 to 20 so people in the room, and then they sign up to get on my program, my mentorship program, and that's 6 weeks long and an hour a week. And that seems to be growing in popularity. I'm getting more and more people wanting to sign up on the mentorship program, because it's less expensive to get on a mentorship program than it is to work with me one-on-one.
So, and I suspect that if you hold up your checklist, you will show me that you already have goals for a revenue stream halfway through next year.
I've got my cash flow projections done until 2028.
Okay. Now, if we were going to focus on growing those streams, what do you expect your income would look like? Here we are already the 4th month of the year, by the fall.
Yeah. So my income would look like by the end of the year. Well, my goal, I hit 10,000 in December. I was so excited. Well, I was just shy by a couple $100 of 10,000 in December, and that was because I did 2 big events for LinkedIn, for my LinkedIn business. And I noticed that whenever I do events for my LinkedIn business, I make more money those months than I do other months. So if I can hit 10,000, I know I could do 15, and it would be perfect, because at 15, then we get all our debts paid off, all our credit card debt and any other debts paid off, and be able to go get a house and not have to be in these apartments anymore.
Now, the room I'm seeing you in right now, is that in your apartment building that you're managing?
Yes, it is. We have a 3-bedroom apartment, which is really nice to have. I've got more space than what most apartment living is. So we each have our own office, and this is my bedroom that I use for my office. And then my husband uses the smallest bedroom he uses for his office. So, and then one's for sleeping.
Here we go. Now, we have a program which will be able to help you achieve your $15,000 number. I believe that you have all of the skills you need to grow that. And if you don't, we'll find out what they are and how to help you get there. I want you to imagine for next Christmas, instead of look at almost getting $10,000 in the year, getting 15,000. What specifically would that allow you to do?
Going, we would get out of these apartments, number one. And number two, we would pay off our credit card debt, which isn't a lot. It's less than $5,000. And we'd pay off our any other debts, small debts that there are, and just get into our own place. My goal is to be at 15,000 a month by September, October, so that I've got a solid 15,000 a month for about 4 months. September, October, November, December. And that will be able to help us have a little bit of savings for down payment on a house.
Sure, right.
Yeah.
I know that the Canadian market continues to skyrocket. And housing prices keep climbing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, being able to move into your own home, what will that do for you? How will you feel about
moving into my own home? Would be really nice, because then I can put all my pictures on the wall. I just, when you don't own the property, you don't want to decorate like you would if it was your own home.
Well,
it's really nice to do that.
And there's never enough wall space.
Well, right now we've got a lot of wall space. We have one picture on the wall in our living room, and that's it. The rest is in my office here on my wall in front of my desk. I've got calendars, 7 calendars all across and down, and charts that I keep track of finances. I've got, someone told me one time that I should be an accountant, because when I was going to college, I got honors in accounting and business management. So I manage the money for the family.
It's the same in our house too. When my wife sends me out for groceries, sometimes she gets what she wants, but she does not let me do the finances.
Yeah.
There are lots of good reasons for that. And I'm really thankful that she takes care of those things.
Yeah.
Now, from what I feel, you have your goals and your plans, and you're doing well. What's holding you back?
Well, the biggest thing that's holding me back is money.
What explain that to me? I don't understand.
Well, I've discovered that when I was laid off my job, we had been raising all these kids, right? And they'd been going to for university and whatnot. And we had spent all our savings on family things. And like one of them, she found out she was going blind. She was expecting her first baby, and she had to have special eye surgery, which was $3,000 per eye. And, little things like that ate up our savings. And we didn't have a lot of savings because we hadn't been married all that many years. And when you go through a divorce, you pretty much just about lose everything.
Yes.
Not a good thing to go through. So when I was laid off my job and I couldn't get another job, it was pretty devastating for me because I knew I had to keep on bringing in an income. And I had nothing to invest in. So everything that I did in my business I had to do myself. I had to figure out how to do everything myself. And there were a lot of things that I didn't know that I needed to do. I needed to have my own list and own my own list that I could send emails out to. And I had tried several different platforms. By the time I realized I needed to have a list, I had over 2,000 people connected to me on LinkedIn. And so when I tried to download that whole list onto the platforms, it knocked me out of the platforms. So I couldn't get back into the platforms. So I went through, I'm now on my 5th platform. And I now finally know a little bit more about what I'm doing. And so I've been gradually building my list. And I've got less than 1,000 people, but it's a lot better than it was. And I'm also building my my list for text messaging because you have to get permission to be able to text people. You have to have permission to be able to email people.
Sure.
And I'm doing it all myself. I have not haven't had until recently. I just recently hired a VA who can help me with my email, but my lead capture funnel for my emails. And that has relieved so much pressure off me. So and you can only get so much done when there's just one of you.
Right.
I'm tired. I would fall asleep sitting in my office chair. So yeah, you can't be a lone wolf. You have to be able to find somebody who can help you with your goals.
Right. So if I have a strong suspicion about some of the feelings and things that you're going through, however, you're a very remarkable person, so you're probably dealing with them differently than I might. How are you personally affected by this drive to get to 15K a month?
Well, it's not, I've learned that I can't put too much pressure on myself because when I do and work too many long, hard hours, I start having ocular migraines. So I have had to pull back and they're blindness attacks where your eyes get blind spots on them and you can't.
Yeah, like stained glass.
Yeah, but you can't see through them. They completely block your vision. And I thought I was going blind when I had my first one. They started about 2 years ago. And now that I've been cutting back on my hours in my office, I haven't had any serious ocular migraines. So I've realized I really need help with a VA and with somebody. Or I'm useless because when you have a blindness attack, you can't use the computer, you can't see anything. So you have to just let your eyes shut.
So you've linked this ocular migraine to the stress that you find yourself under. And the only way to get rid of this migraine is to do what?
Well, the best way to get rid of it is to just cut back on my work, not work as long hours. But then I don't accomplish as much.
Right.
And so I don't like, how should I put this? I'm not a kind of a person that likes to sit back and do nothing. I'm get in there and get it done kind of person.
Sure.
And I was raised that way. I was raised on a ranch in southern Alberta, and so we were up at the crack of dawn in the summertime especially, and we were out driving tractor. Us girls would drive the tractor, and the guys would be on the brothers would be on the baler, hucking bales. Sometimes we'd spell off our brothers because they would get so tired, and we felt sorry for them. Dad told us girls we were not supposed to huck bales, but we never told him. Nobody ever told him, because you're in this hot sun, and you see your brothers getting blistered lips from working really hard on the stuker, and you just stop the tractor and say, okay, you drive for a while and I'll stoop, and then they can get hydrated with drinking some water while they're driving the tractor. But we worked very hard, and that's how I grew up, working very hard. And I started sewing my own clothes when I was 12. I'm tall, I'm 5'10", and couldn't get clothes that were long enough in the legs or long enough in the arms. So I started sewing my own clothes when I was 12. My mom taught me. She sewed all our clothes pretty much, except she didn't make blue jeans, but I learned how to make blue jeans for my kids. Anyway, we did that. We were very industrious, and mom did all the patching and darning and laundry for all the hired men on the ranch. And so sometimes we'd have as many as 12 people sitting around the dinner table because of all the hired hands.
Right.
And then there were 6 of us kids, and we'd have up to 2, 4, 6, 7 hired men in threshing season and roundup season. And we had 2 cow herds. We had a purebred herd, a grade herd. We had a herd of horses. We had a purebred quarter horse stud who people paid us stud fees to come and bring their mares to get serviced. And we had 6 milk cows that we milked by hand. And we had chickens that we sold eggs. We sold milk. We sold eggs to people. That was before the Department of Agriculture came in with all their laws and rules and regulations. And my dad was a veterinarian. So we had multiple streams of income. So that's where I get that from. That's where I get that.
Sure.
So it's so deeply ingrained in me. You grow up with that, and it's all a part of what you do on a regular daily basis. It all works together, right? And so there's not enough of me to go around, and I'm feeling that as I get older, I have 2 choices: to quit doing what I'm doing and just exist, barely scraping by for the rest of my life, probably never being able to pay all my debts off. And even though I don't have a real big lot of debts, or I can vegetate, be like all my girlfriends who, when you go to visit them, all we talk about is the weather and their garden. And it's kind of boring for me.
That's not who you are.
No, and they've all gotten 6 axe handles wide, and they can't hardly waddle to the end of their driveway. So that's not me. This is not me. I was told 14 years ago that I needed to have knee replacement surgery because I've got advanced arthritis in my knees. But I saw what happened to all my girlfriends that had knee replacement surgery, and they're huge and they can't waddle to the end of their driveway. And I'm going, whoa, that's not going to be me. So I found a solution, a natural solution, so that I can walk without a limp and not have to have the surgery. And that's how I tick. You give me a challenge and I'll try and work at it until I finally get an answer. It took me 14 years, but I finally got the answer.
So,
and that's going to happen with this. Take me 14 years and then no, it can't. I have to. I'm in my early 70s, so now I really need to get down to brass knuckles.
So, no, brass tacks.
Yeah.
Not brass knuckles.
Well, to me, it's like brass knuckles, so I'm fighting my way through.
Yes. So not being able to get there, how do you feel at the end of the day as you've been working through your journey of getting to your goal? You've gone through your checklist and you've done everything that you set out to do, and you're not any further ahead.
I don't feel like I'm no further ahead. I just feel like
Good.
it's not coming as fast as I would like it to. Two key words I've learned in my life. One is consistency, doing it every day, over and over again, and patience. Consistency and patience. The patience is the hard part.
Yes, it is. Certainly for a person like you. So, are there any other emotions that come up with your activities that you're doing every day? You would like things to happen faster, I guess? How do you feel about your progress?
I would like things to happen faster. Like I would like to get up to a steady 10,000 a month and have that going for a few months and gradually increasing to the 15,000 and get to 15 and have that gradually increasing from there. I see myself as a multiple six-figure income earner and eventually $1 million. My coach that I'm working with right now is a multi-million-dollar figure earner every year. And I'm going, so she's teaching me a lot of things. And that's where I've learned, she's taught me about the lead capture funnels and how important it is to have them because they save you so much time. Because these automatic emails go to people when they sign up for one of your courses. And it's, I couldn't believe my eyes when I first saw that. So that would help me. That'll help me a lot to attract the perfect prospects for me. But I get them from the system that I'm doing on this page here that I've shown you. I get the clients from LinkedIn because they click on links that go to my lead capture funnels, right? And then they get on my mailing list and they're all approving to be on my mailing list.
Sure.
And then I can sell them to or invite them to events that I put on for LinkedIn. And they can come to those events, then I'm selling them into my courses. And
into your mentorship.
Yeah, into my mentorship program. In fact, just before I talked to you, I was working with a guy that I got from last week because of a speaking engagement I had with a networking group.
So I didn't understand it clearly. It sort of sound, if I recall correctly, that one of the things that's holding you back is the amount of time that you have to invest in the businesses you're running.
Mm-hmm. And I feel guilty too because my poor husband, he sits out. Well, right now he's trying to figure out how to set up the Blu-ray on the TV. But that keeps him busy. But I could care less about TV. I could care less about learning how to. He can do all of that. I want to concentrate on what I'm doing here. And he's very patient. I just really love him because he's so patient with me. And he knows, he sees the income coming in that I'm producing. And like when I told him I just had $318 deposited into my PayPal account, he goes, high five. So he gives me, he's very supportive.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
I would, even though that said, I'd really like to spend more time with him, just doing stuff, doing fun stuff,
Sure.
you know, going for walks and traveling a little bit. And our kids are so scattered out, but we can't even travel. We used to travel several times, at least a couple times a year, and be gone for 2 or 3 weeks at a time so that we could go and visit our kids and grandkids. But now we can't do that. We can fly to the States, but getting back into Canada,
You have that 2-week waiting period, or
it's mandatory that you stay in a COVID hotel. And that COVID hotel is $200 a night, which you have to pay for yourself. And it's not secure. There, people are getting attacked in these hotels, especially women traveling alone. And they're bed bugs that are being reported in these places. And I'm going, I don't want to go there. So we've got 3 granddaughters that are leaving to go to Europe and university, and we can't go to any of their graduations this year because I can't get back into the country. Even if I go by myself, I still have to stay in a COVID hotel when I come back.
yeah, travel is not a convenient thing these days.
Yeah. So there's, you know, it's if I leave things the way they are, so if you keep on doing what you've always done, you will always get what you've always got. So we have to
Now, if you were able to generate that $10,000 or $15,000 a month regularly to get you to where you might be able to move into your own home and out of the apartment, I imagine that would feel pretty good. How would it make you feel?
we could get into our own place.
Yeah, or
That'd be
have a
awesome.
steady stream of income of 10, 15,000 a month.
Yeah, it'd be awesome, but you know what would probably happen? Yeah, I won't go there. It would be fun, really fun, decorating our own place, putting everything, all of our, we have nice stuff, you know, nice furniture and stuff. It'd be nice to be in a place of our own where we could arrange it however we want. And maybe put in a jacuzzi, you know, those swimming jacuzzis that where you swim against the current.
Oh, yes, yes.
That's what we'd like to have because we both love to swim and do laps.
So would that be outside in Edmonton in the winter?
No, they're going to be indoor. We're going to have 2 of
Okay.
them. We're going to have 2 of them side by side, so we could both be swimming at the same time and race.
Huh. I don't think, well, okay, we live in southern Nevada where it's summer temperatures are usually well over 100. Yes.
Yeah. So
So
your
we
pool
don't-
would be outside.
Pool is outside, and without any heating, by next month, it will be comfortable swimming temperatures.
Whoa, that's cool. Yeah.
So, I mean, there's the good and the bad. The temperatures go through the roof. You have to drink lots of water.
Mm-hmm.
But there are no bugs. They all just dry up and drop dead.
That's good. Oh, so you don't have what do they call those? Cockroaches. I went to visit my son and his family in in Georgia. And one of these big long bugs, well, it wasn't quite that, it was about 2.5, 3 inches long, with wings, came flying in the door. And it was flying all over and it would land on the wall. And we were throwing shoes and books at it, trying to smash this thing because we couldn't catch it. And once we were able to finally kill it, we found out that it was a form of cockroach. They called them May bugs.
Or
And that's
something.
something, we don't have a lot of bugs up here either because the cold kills them all.
Right, right. Yeah, I'm sure we have cockroaches. They're everywhere in the world.
Mm.
There are different flavors, big ones, small ones, but
Yeah.
they're everywhere. Now, we've spent a little bit of time getting to know each other, and thank you for teaching me a bit about what you do. What do you feel has been most valuable for you during our conversations today?
Oh, you've helped me focus a little bit more, maybe in a slightly different angle on my goals and dreams and where I really want to be. And the fact that I really don't want to quit. I don't want to quit. I'm going to work till the day I die if I have to.
Well, you got to sleep sometime, and then you have a chance to talk to God and find out what's next.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, in all the months of the year or days of the week, is this a critical time in your life, or is this just another day?
Every day is a critical time. And because of the activities that I do every day, each day is different every week. And during the week, it's the 5 days a week, even though I'm working my own business, it seems like everybody is all geared to the 5-day work week. I would love to get to the 4-hour work week. Have you read that book?
Yes.
Oh.
And I'm not sure how much of it is luck or opportunity knocking and answering the door, or mindset. These are all important characteristics. So I have written down what I think is your top goal. I would like you to feed it back to me. I have written down a financial goal of making $10,000 to $15,000 a month consistently. Is that your top goal in your life right now?
No, my top goal would be eventually 5 years. Well, within the next 5 years, sometime within the next 5 years, I would like to be able to say that I earned more than 500,000 in a year.
Okay.
And I know that that is possible because I see what my coach is doing, and she's multiple 7 figures a year. And I'm thinking, well, 500,000 is modest.
Sure.
She's done. And once I get there, I mean, I look at Colonel Saunders. He was 84 when he finally started his franchises, got his business really rolling, right? And so as long as my health holds out, I can be 84 if I get it done. I would like to get it done in the next 5 years, not when I'm 84. But that's, 10 to 15 and over. Once I hit 15, I want to keep going.
Oh, yes, understand.
And it's not because I'm greedy. It's because I want to have everything paid off so that I can relax and not have to worry about how we're going to pay the bills, kind of thing, and put more money away so that we have more of a legacy. We've got 8 children. So when we pass away, I'd like to be able to leave a really nice legacy for all of our children and grandchildren. And they don't really need it, but I think it'd be a really nice surprise to be able to say in our will that all the mortgages for all their homes get paid off when we pass away, and everybody is debt free. And I think that would be the best way to repay them rather than give them money.
Right.
Just
right.
have that put into the will that all the mortgages are paid. So I need to earn enough money so we can have enough in the legacy to pay all the mortgages.
So it's not a fixed amount of money. It's enough to accomplish a legacy.
That's right. So that could be, and I'm thinking at least 500,000, probably more. That's going to be shoved away in a legacy account,
sure.
Put into trust accounts for all of our kids and grandkids.
And great grandkids.
Yeah. We tell our kids, may you live to be, let's see, how is it? May we live to be 150 years old. And they say, why? And we tell them, so we can spend your inheritance. And then we laugh. But really, if we kept on our health, feeling and doing as well as we're doing, we know we're probably going to be living well over 100 years.
Oh, sure. That is definitely, doable, both from external medicines and repairs, but internally, keeping your mind and
I stopped drinking soda pop.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I don't drink soda pop. Don't drink any tea or coffee. I don't smoke. I don't drink alcohol.
So we have our own health diet plans. Didn't help me. I had my heart attack anyway. So.
Oh, that's a strange thing. My dad too. My dad, you see his picture on the wall. He wasn't a big fat person. And when he was when he was 57 that he had his first heart attack. And the doctors told him he had to sell his ranch. So he sold the big ranch and bought a smaller ranch.
You got to do what you know how to do.
Yeah.
Now, if every day is a critical day on moving forward on your journey, you've been on this journey in different stages now for quite a while. How committed would you be to making some changes which would take you to your goals?
How committed? I would be very committed.
Okay. And what are some of the things that you expect that you will have to overcome to get to your goals?
Well, it's which comes first, the chicken or the egg? I know where I want to be, what I need to get working on. And in order to get there, I know what needs to be done. But the way things sit right now, in order to get to that goal up here, it's going to cost me some money. Where's that money going to come from? So that's the thing I need to figure out. There's a hole there. Otherwise, if I don't figure that out, I'm going to be back, stay where I am and climb. I'm climbing, but I'm going very slow. And I'm doing it all myself. And because I've had to cut back on the number of hours I spend in my office, I'm going to be slower. So I've been doing this now for 10 years, and I'm way, way ahead of where I was when I started, but I'm still not at my goal. So I don't know what I need, whether I need help with a coach, but my coach is really helping me a lot right now. And I just, there's, what do I do to help speed things up a little bit? It's going to have to be, I hire somebody else to help me. And my husband is not techie, so he can't help me.
Well, I hear him configuring your Blu-ray.
Yeah. and he's not great, but he's willing to learn, you know. He's been taking some computer courses. And I said, well, when you finish taking the computer courses, then maybe you can take over managing our investment accounts with the crypto and stuff, and maybe do some more strategic planning in with those, so that they're not just sitting there just building interest slowly. They can grow faster if he gets in there and works with them a bit. So, but that doesn't help me with my LinkedIn coaching, which is where I really want to be.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example. I had a big event, a big live event planned that I did with LinkedIn, and I did it last month on the 18th of March. I had over 400 people register for that event. I had 102 people actually show up on Zoom for that event. And you know what? For the first time in my life of running an event, not one person bought. Not one person bought. And so I've been working with my coach trying to figure out what went wrong, why they didn't buy. You know, we learn our biggest lessons from making mistakes, right? So I've been trying to figure out what my mistakes are. And I found that since that time, what I've done is I've just pulled out the stops, and I just go live on LinkedIn, and I go share. I ask for a volunteer. We share their profile, and I give tips on what they could do to improve their profile. And that has been huge. And I get people buying out of every one of them. So that's what I should have done at the big event. I should have done live instead of a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, I think that certainly is one of the keys to get interaction and involvement, engagement. Because well, I shouldn't be solving problems. I have my own.
Can't help it. You can't help it. I find that I'm talking to people, I have a hard time to say something. I've got a really good idea for them, but I better be quiet.
Now, I'm not following the script, and I will be punished for this. But do you know a Christine Huber?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's our LinkedIn coach.
Awesome. Cool.
So
small world, eh?
Very small world.
Yeah. I don't know her that well. I just know of her from LinkedIn.
Yeah, anyway, we met her through another coaching program many years ago, and she lives in Northern California. So there are a number of things that we can help you with, and we use a 5-step I guess that's better than a 10-step program. We use a 5-step strategy to go through your business activities to clearly identify some specific, not all of them, some specific goals and some action steps that you can take to continue along your path. And also, and this may be some area which will have a more dramatic impact, is to find out what skills you need and resources to acquire, because getting a VA is a great step, but then you have to manage them.
Yeah. Well, this girl is really good. I can just tell her, okay, I need this and I need this and I need this. So she gets it all set up and then just runs it by me. And I say, okay, we'll just change this, 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 and away we go. And then we can just leave them because she's helping me with my automation.
Okay. And what time zone is she in?
She's in the Netherlands.
Yeah. So our web support team is over there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The world has shrunk so much.
Yeah. In fact, the Netherlands is where one of my granddaughters is going to school next year.
Okay.
Yeah. Small world.
It's and eye-opening.
Mm-hmm.
So from that skills assessment, which is a much more formal thing than what I've just touched on right now, and we'll figure out what you've got to upgrade and what you have to outsource or help your VA learn to help you better. And through our coaching program, and it's 2 pieces. There's one-on-one coaching, which is augmented with group coaching, sort of like a mastermind. We found that when a group gets together in an open session, there are many things that you learn that you didn't expect, you didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll get support both from a designated coach and from your group. And that will last for 6 months. There are, 24 group coaching sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And one-on-one coaching sessions. And this is all part of a package to help you achieve some of your goals.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they can be short-term goals because 6 months is not long-term. But how would you feel at the end of 6 months to be able to say to me, that's it, I don't need you guys anymore. I've gotten where I need to be right now. Leave me alone. I'll get back to you when I need to take it the next step. How would that feel?
That'd be great. Absolutely great.
Now, as you alluded, these things cost money. Would you like to hear about the investment for this 6-month program?
Okay.
She says, no, I don't want to hear this.
Uh,
Okay. So it is just shy of $10,000 American.
wow, that's about 12,000 Canadian. So it's only a 6-month program.
Yes, it's a 6-month program.
Mhm. And what all do they do?
Well, after we have your skills assessment done and we're focused on outlining the specific steps that you will need to take, we will work with you so that you accomplish those steps and hold you accountable for doing the work.
Hmm. It's totally not in my budget. So see, this is what happens. They want so much money, and I don't begrudge them for it because it's well worth it. They've taken all their so many years to prepare themselves and get to where they are. So I'm supposed to be on with Wendy.
Oh, there, it says that right here.
Yeah.
So I know this has been an unusual call and Charlotte is going to hate it, but Christine, I've really enjoyed this time.
Yeah, me
and I
too.
honestly believe, and the program I was talking to you about, oh, there's Wendy. The program that I was talking to you about is Wendy's program. We have a coaching program that I don't know what Wendy was planning on doing.
Well, we have a practice session where Christine is going to sell me now, because last time I was selling her.
You didn't tell me that, and Christine didn't volunteer. So hopefully, Christine, you will let me know how well or poorly you thought I did, so I have something to work on.
Oh, I thought you were delightful.
Thank you. Okay, so
I'm going to stop recording here.